very good morning to everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Bulletin on this beautiful Sunday morning, the 28th of April, 2024. You're listening to the club station of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, ZS6STN, which is operated today from the Shack of Angus, ZS6 Golf Oscar. This club bulletin is broadcast every Sunday at 8:45 local time on the following frequencies. Firstly is on 145,700 megahertz FM in the 2-meter band, 7.115 megahertz lowest side band in the 40-meter band, today from the Shack of Knoll, ZR6DX. And then we have Echolink, ZS6STN-R. I know we also have the podcast on Facebook as well of today's bulletin. Okay, in the bulletin, club birthdays, club news, general ham radio news, special topic of discussion, call-ins, and swap shop on 40 meters and 2 meters. Okay, let's start with club birthdays upcoming week. ZS6SAS, which is Sasha Yoko on the 2nd of May there. Okay, is anybody else would like to add anything? And for club news, ZS6STN is now listening.
ZS6HR?
Keith there, ZS6HR from ZS6STN, take a round.
Keith, thank you there, Angus. Yeah, I also see that next week we've got a special birthday as well, on the 5th of the 5th, which we will obviously announce next week, but that is Wally, ZS6WLY. Then just to go through some of the news, Matthew, the ZS6MDV, is now, at the moment he is in Mozambique, running under the call sign of Charlie 912 Mike Delta Victor. So you might want to try and get him on the bands. He's got his Zygu G90 there, and he's 705, and I think a linked dipole. So he's running from the northern reaches of Mozambique with Charlie 912 Mike Delta Victor. For those who are following the SOTA expeditions, you will have seen Brendan climbing some weird and wonderful mountains, peaks, or SOTAs just recently. Yesterday he climbed one that seemed to be quite an exercise. And just if you're not on the SOTA groups and would like to be on the SOTA groups, just let them know or let us know, and we will try and give you the link to those SOTA groups. But lots of beautiful pictures coming through, and it's always exciting to chase the guys activating the SOTA peaks. Then we have a committee meeting coming up next week on Wednesday, on the 1st of May. So if you would like to add anything to the committee agenda, please send that through to us on info@zs6stn.org.za, and we will put it onto the committee agenda. The 80-meter club contest is on the 15th of May. I'm sure you'll hear about more of that, but that's obviously in the name of the club. And yesterday we had the 40-meter club contest, and I did hear 2 or 3 Santonites out there on 40 meters doing their thing, and it was a nice contest, lots of contacts, and the West Rand Club was really out in force. I think they must have had 10 plus members running on the contest there yesterday. So I don't think we're going to get enough points to challenge them, but it would be great if we can come in then second or third place on the 40-meter club contest. And let's do the same for the 80-meter club contest on the 15th of May. The RAE is on the 18th of May, so we'll obviously wish our students good luck in the next week or so. But I know that there's 8 students, 2 of them out there in the regions, and there are 6 fairly local students, of which 3 plus 1 maybe have done their HF assessments. So there are still 2 to do their HF assessments. I know that we were trying to organize another HF assessment for them, but at this point it doesn't look like they are wanting to have an HF assessment, so that will delay the issuing of their license once they've passed the exam, if they don't do their HF assessment ahead of time. And I think then on the Tech Talk, we've got a Tech Talk on the 29th of May, but I think for some reason everyone wants to go out voting on the 29th of May. So what we may have to do is either move or cancel that Tech Talk scheduled for the 29th of May. Our last Tech Talk was last week, and we discussed QRP and the QRP contest rules in a co-creation environment, and we had a number of people join us for the QRP co-creation discussion as how we want to work on the QRP contest and make it as more fun and as exciting for everybody as possible. And that was a nice discussion held on Wednesday evening. Okay, I think that's probably enough from me for now. Angus, back to you. ZS6STN and ZS6HI.
ZS6HI from ZS6STN. Keith, thank you very much for that info and updates and everything like that. Greatly appreciated there. Okay, any other news on for any club news? ZS6STN is now listening.
ZS6HI?
ZS6HI, take a ride from ZS6STN.
Apologies, Angus, I did forget to mention one thing. The potential link up to use the venue of the first Bryanston Scout group as a QTH for the club has fallen through. That one is not going ahead. So we are now looking at alternatives. We've already got two alternatives on the radar. One to potentially use the Parkmore Scout Hall, and a second one to use a private property that has been offered to us. So we are investigating those as a club and as a committee, and we will let everybody know going forward. But the first Bryanston Scout group has unfortunately decided that they don't want us to use their premises at the moment. Although they would like us to continue helping them with the, obviously with the youth, your Jota and Joties. Okay, thank you, Angus, ZS6STN, ZS6HI.
ZS6HI from ZS6STN. Keith, things happen for reasons, and I hope they are good reasons there. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the SRL HQ Bulletin news there. Okay, in the news today, Radio ZS requires photographs of the SRL Convention 2024, the ZS SOTA and AWA activity next weekend, and Malls on the Air and the ZS5 Hamfest. All right, stay tuned for more information and on and other interesting news items. Okay, we start with the report of two silent keys. It was with deep regret that we announced the key of Henny Phelan, ZS4 Hotel Golf. When silent on Saturday the 20th of April, Henny was an honorary member of the Bloemfontein Amateur Radio Club and looked after the club's repeaters for many years. We extend our sincere condolences to his family and friends. It was with deep regret that we announced the key of Jimmy Discoda, ZS2 Juliet India Mike, when silent on Thursday the 25th of April 2024. Jimmy served on the committee of the Port Elizabeth Amateur Radio Society and was very involved in communications for events and in promoting Amateur Radio Club in the scouting community. We extend our sincere condolences to his family and friends. Okay, you're listening to the news bulletin of the South African Radio League. Photos of the National Convention. The editor of the Radio ZS is looking for photographs taken during the National Convention weekend in Cape Town. Please send your photographs with names of the peoples to radiozs@srl.org.za. ZS SOTA and AWA activity next weekend. The Antique Wireless Association AM and SSB Valve Party is a phone contest held over two sessions on Saturday the 4th and Sunday the 5th of May. On Saturday afternoon the 4th of May from 1300 hours to 1500 hours UTC, the AM section will be held for QSOs for both on 40 and 80 meter bands. On Sunday, the 5th of May, from 1300 to 1700 UTC, the SSB section will be held with contacts on both the 40 and 80 meter bands. The exchange is your call sign, an RE support, and a consecutive serial number starting with 001, and the type of radio used. Submit your log, preferably in Excel format, by 21:59 UTC on May the 10th to Andy ZS6STN at vodermail.co.za. Please refer to page 59 of the SRL contest manual for the rules. You have 6 days to find a summit to activate and get your radio equipment ready. The ZS SOTA activity is no longer a one-day event and is now a weekend event. The ZS SOTA Autumn Activation Weekend will run from 0000 to 21:59 on Saturday the 4th and Sunday the 5th of May 2024. You can register your SOTA activation on the ZS SOTA Facebook page. Read more about this activities on page 64 of the SRL contest manual. West Rand top band presentation. Calling everyone interested in the top band or 160 meter. Have you got your top band award certificate yet? The West Rand continues its technical presentation on the 160 meter band with the aim to be ready for the upcoming top band competition in June. This time around, we will look at the top band contest rules, logging, as well as revisit the suggested transmitting antenna and investigate several receiving antenna options. The presentation will be broadcast 1937 Central African Time on Thursday the 2nd of May via Zoom and the West Rand Echo Link repeater. Email info@ZS6STN.co.za for more information on the Zoom link. Cool CW operations on the 18th of May. The origins of this Cool CW operations will celebrate 6 years on the air. The celebrations will be all day along for South African amateurs on Saturday the 18th of May and using CW on any band. This exchange is the 6 years, 7 threes, spelling out 6 years. Upload your QSOs to the Cool for QSO confirmations. Please apply for your membership if you have any QSOs instantly confirmed. Membership required, and then send it to radarops.co.za. Then, Malls on the Air. The 2024 Malls on the Air takes place on Saturday the 11th and Sunday the 12th of May with the activities on of wind and water-operated malls. There's a lot of South African malls available from the League's website. So click on the link on the front page. The list covers from the Eastern Cape, Free State, Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Lesotho, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Northwest, Northern Cape, Iswani, and the Western Cape. Find a mall in your area and activate it. Masters Mall has already been booked. The ZS5 Hamfest. Following on the success of the 2023 event, the Highway and Midlands Amateur Radio Club are delighted to host the ZS5 Hamfest again on Saturday the 25th of May. The event will be a mega shop with 3 tables which will run from 10:30 for most of the day. This is a good opportunity to promote our hobby and foster conversations and goodwill amongst other amateur radios. The venue provides lots of space, both indoors and outdoors, and facilities cater for an enjoyable family day out. Visitors are welcome. Camping is available on the site, and there are several guest houses in the area. Contact ZS5OM at harc.org.za for information, or if you are interested in registering a SOP table. Okay, contest news. This autumn QRP contest is sponsored by the Sandton Amateur Radio Club. 9 logs were received for the autumn leg of this contest. First was Philip, ZS6 Foxtrot Yankee, with 59 points, and the top scorer and Phone Mode Pro Awards. Second was Kevin, ZS6 Kilo Bravo, 32 points. And third was the Cape Radio Group, ZS1 Charlie Romeo Golf, with 30 points. Johan, ZS6 Juliet Bravo Zulu, achieved the FT8 Pro Mode Award. Andy, ZS3 ADY, the CW Pro Mode Pro Award. And Kevin, ZS6 KNA, the QRP Chasers Pro Award. No one managed to make 3 QSOs on 4 modes, hence the QRP Master Award remains unclaimed. Congratulations to the winners, and a big thank you to all who participated, and an even bigger thank you to all those who submitted their log. 105 QSOs were received in 9 logbooks received, of which 60 were QRP to QRP contacts and 7 were DX contacts. QSOs were made from all 6 divisions, but no logbooks were received from divisions 2, 4 and 5. Average logbooks accuracy was 86%, with ZS1 Charlie Romeo Golf, ZS3 Alpha Delta Yankee, and ZS6 Juliet Bravo Zulu achieving 100% accuracy. One contestant experienced and remarked that he was more than double his QSO count simply by changing to different antennas between legs 1 and 2 of the contest. Now let's take a quick look at what can be achieved with a QSO with a QRP. Johan, ZS6 Juliet Bravo Zulu achieved 12,200 kilometers on 5 watts using FT8. Andy, ZS6 ADY, ZS3 ADY achieved 1,200 kilometers on 5 watts using CW, and ZS1 Charlie Romeo Golf achieved 1,500 kilometers using 10 watts foam. Excellent achievement that showcases what can be done with QRP. You're invited to join in experimenting and having fun with QRP during the Winter QRP contest, which will be held on the 20th of July. Catch you on the bands. The full results of the all-mode International DX contest held on March 2024 has been released. The full set of results is available on the HF Happenings on the SRL website under contests. Propagation report. Hannes Garcia reports that the cell activity is expected to be at low to moderate levels. There is currently 14 sunspots with simple to complex magnetic configurations visible. There is a high probability of C and M class solar flares. If you want to do your own frequency prediction, the expected effective sunspot number for the week is around about 75. The 10 to 30 meter bands may provide some good DX fun, especially in the late afternoons. Please visit spaceweather.sanza.org.za for further information. Some upcoming events. 1st of May is Workers' Day. 2nd of May is the closing date for the 40 meter club logs. 4th of May is the ZS4 Sierra Romeo Kilo meeting. 4th and 5th is the ZS SOTA activation weekend and the AWA Valve AM QSO party. 8th of May is the early morning coffee QSO party. 10th of May is the closing date for the AWA logs. 12th of May is Mother's Day and the ZS3 QSO party. 15th of May is the SRL 80 meter club contest and the closing date for the coffee QSO party logs. Okay, that's from the SRL, just some brief ones. Okay, topic of interest. I know I presume everybody's probably heard this before, but I thought I'd just touch on it. With this CW and that, and I came up with a fun little article here. What is Morse code and how was Morse code invented? Morse code either is of two systems for representing letters of the alphabet, numerals, and punctuation marks by arranging of dots and dashes and spaces. The codes are transmitted as electrical pulses of various lengths or analog mechanics or a visual signal, such as flashing lights. One of the systems was invented in the United States by American artist and inventor Samuel F.B. Morse during the 1830s for electrical telegraphy. This version was further improved by the American scientist and businessman Alfred Lewis Yvail. Morse assisted and partnered. Soon after the introduction into Europe, it became apparent that the original Morse code was antiquated for the transmission of non-English text. Since it lacked codes for letters with dielectric marks, to remedy this deficiency, a variant called the International Morse Code was devised by the Conference of European Nations in 1851. The new code is also called Continental Morse Code. The two systems is similar, but the International Morse Code is simpler and more precise. For example, the original Morse codes used patterns of dots and spaces to represent a few of the letters, whereas the International Morse Code uses a combination of dots and short dashes for all letters. In addition to the International Morse Code uses dashes of consistent length rather than a variable speed used in the original Morse Code. The International Morse Code has accepted some minor changes in 1938, remaining the same since inception. The American telegraph industry has never abandoned the original Morse code and is used continued until the spread of teleprinters in the 1920s and 30s. International Morse code was used in World War II and in the Korea and Vietnam Wars. It was used heavily by the shipping industries and for the safety of seas until the early 1990s. Although amateur radio made up only a small part of Morse code usage, it did prepare many hundreds of operators for military duty in communications. In the early 2000s, most countries have dropped the ability to decipher Morse code from the requirements of obtaining their amateur radio license. Okay, just something I saw and I thought would be very interesting. Thank you to everybody out there for listening. We trust that you've enjoyed the bulletin today. Please feel free to give us comments or any constructive criticism. Thank you for the stations who assisted with relays, broadcasts, and those who've contributed to the content from time to time. Join us again next Sunday at 8:45 Central African Time for the regular bulletin of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club. This brings a close to the weekly bulletin of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, ZS6STN. ZS6STN was operated today by ZS6 Golf Oscar. Thank you to all the listeners and 7-3. ZS6STN now relinquishes all frequencies for general use.